Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to start a new section which is advanced structure, and the first chapter in this section is al-mutati bihar. Now we know that lazim fail and mutadi fail. A lazim fail is the one which does not take maful bihi, maful, and mutadi harf is the one which takes maful. So this is the difference between mutadi and lazim. So we are going to now see that how your lazim fail. So when your lazim fail, do not take maful bihi. So that means there cannot be turned into passive. So the ones which take maful bihi, which is mutadi, they can be turned into passive also, because your maful bihi actually becomes your naibul file. But the one which cannot take maful bihi, they cannot be turned into passive fail because they don't have anything to be turned into naibul file. And we do know that in a passive form, the doer of the fail is omitted. So let's look at this example. So nama means he slept. Now you cannot really say namahu, he slept it, or he slept him. You cannot say that. So in mutadi fail, for example, you can take maful bihi, and therefore it can be turned into passive. So this, since it cannot take a maful bihi, it cannot be turned into passive. Mutadi, as you can see in this example, allama, which means he taught. It can be turned to allamahu, he taught him. So it can take a maful bihi. So therefore it can be turned into passive. So in this example, nama, who, you cannot say it was slept, slept. You cannot say it was slept. Or over here, but you can say he was taught, or he was slept cannot be, the passive form cannot be he was slept or it was slept. But in allama, he taught him, you can change it into passive saying he was taught. So you see the difference? So therefore, if you summarize this, when making a fail passive, maful bihi actually turns into naibul file. So he taught him. So this person, him, he was taught. So this maful became the naibul file, he was taught. Over here, this is lazim fail, and it cannot become it was slept. So therefore, this is lazim fail. So therefore, we can summarize that if you don't have maful bihi, you cannot turn it into passive. Now, let's move forward. So now there is a method of changing a lazim fail into mutadi fail basically. So if you have a fail which does not take a maful bihi, you can still turning it into passive is still possible and making it mutadi. How can you do so? Adding a harf. So basically the whole point is of adding a maful is adding a detail. But since you cannot add detail directly, so you have to add a harf. That is the detail that we were looking for. So that will come in a form of jar majroor, which is basically your mutalliq bil fail in the sentence. So the detail that was missing in lazim fail was mutalliq bil fail. That will be that we will see take the place of maful bihi, and when you turn it into passive, that maful bihi will become your naibul file. So this whole process, you can say, is called changing the lazim fail into mutadi fail. And therefore, this now becomes mutadi fail. So now it can be turned into passive. So how is that? Because you added a detail which could not be added otherwise. So it could not be added directly. So you added a harf and then you added a detail. And that's how it became mutadi bi harf. Now we will see the examples here. So we have two cases. Remember that you have to kill the don't kill the doer, but you have to obviously omit the doer of the action, the fail, when you are making it passive. So nama means he slept. Fis sariri, on the bed. So he slept on the bed. Nama fis sariri. Now, if you see harf was added. You cannot say nama sarira, he slept the bed. No, it has to be on the bed. So nama fis sariri, on you had to add a harf over here in order to add this detail. Now this can be made passive, and therefore since it is being made passive by adding a harf, that's why it's called mutadi bi harf. So nima fis sariri, the bed was slept on. So you can't say the bed was slept. It has to be the bed was slept on. Then it will make sense. And now if you notice this detail, which was actually your mutalik bil fail, if you see the bed was slept on, it became like a naibul file for you. So what was slept on? The bed was slept on. So this became the naibul file. Another example is ja'u bil kitabi, which means they brought the book. Now you have to see you have an inside doer over here, ja'u. So the first step would be you have to omit the doer. By the way, brought, it becomes basically ja'a means come, but when you use it with ja'a bi, it becomes brought. That can literally mean come with. Brought means you come with something. So now you have to see that no doer in passive. So you have to now omit the doer. So ja'u will become ja'a, and then it will become ji'a. And now ji'a can become a passive muta'addi bi harf, which turned into passive fail. And then bil kitabi will come as it is, and it will be translated as the book was brought. So if you see again, what was your na'ibul file? What was brought? The book was brought. This naibul file was actually your mutalik bil fail over here, which all remained mutalik bil fail, and it became your naibul file in translation. Now, if you look at this over here, if you see, sorry, if you see over here, this is very important. So your passive fail, your maful bihi will turn into naibul file. But in mutadi bi harf fail, so this is about your normal, mutadi fail. But when the one which is lazim and it was turned into mutadi with a harf, mutadi bi harf fail, mutalik bil fail will be turned into naibul file, and it will be translated as basically not turned into naibul file. It will be turned into, your jar majroor will basically in translation be translated as naibul file. So over here, if you see that in mutta'di bi harf always will be a masculine and singular, that is huwa form, and your na'ibul file will be your jar majroor. Therefore, a fail not in huwa form will not have muta'alliq bil fail as na'ibul file. So if it's not in a singular masculine form, then it will not have a na'ibul file. The mutta'di bi harf fail will not have a muta'alliq bil fail as a na'ibul file. So another thing, we know that since you cannot fail cannot be lazim fail cannot be turned passive, so you cannot have a maful. But since mutati bihar process can be used to make a lazim fail maful, so therefore you can now have a maful. And that happens, by the way, every time we read namaz. So initially we learned, for example, in lazim fail, over here that it cannot have ism maf'ul because there is no passive line. But when you add a harf, sorry, so and mutadi bi harf fail can now have a ism maf'ul. And how is that possible? The same rules of apply of adding harf. So maf'ul will be huwa form, singular and masculine, and it will have a jar majroor which will act as it's done to naibul fa'il. Now, in Surah Al-Fatiha, there is this example that we recite every day, which is غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. So, ghadiba means he was angry. Now, you cannot say ghadibahu, he was angry him, or he was angry it. There has to be ghadiba alayhim, ghadiba alayhim. He was angry at him. You have to add ala in it, alai in it, in order to add a detail that who was he angry at. So therefore, when the harf is added, now it can become mutadi bil harf, and now it can have maf'ul also, and that maf'ul will be maghdub. And if you can see, this is also in its huwa form, and it is also coming with its jar majroor, which is the naibul file. And it's translated as not those who are the object of anger. If you see, this is huwa form. And so if you see the when you are using it as a fail, it is the same rule that it should be in the huwa form and it should have a naibul file. And that's the same rule you will follow when you are using the maf'ul of a lazim fail, which is then turned into mutadi bihar. So, and that naibul file will be, by the way, your jar majroor. So this brings us to the end of this topic. If there are any outstanding questions, please feel free to ask on the group, and inshallah they will be addressed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.